Welcome back to the channel. If you are returning, you are the real MVP, and if this is your first time here, welcome. You are in the right place. Today, I'm teaching you how to design an awesome animated splash screen for mobile app, from concept to smooth transitions and that polished look users love. So don't miss out. Smash that subscribe button, tap the bell, and let's level up your design game together. Now let's dive into the splash screen magic. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to bring out a frame. But before then, make sure you all have a logo that you're going to use to do this design. So this is the logo I'm going to use. So now let's move forward. This is the logo I'm going to use for this tutorial. So let's begin. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to bring out a frame. You click on a frame, then you bring out a frame, mobile frame. So now that you've brought out the mobile frame, the next thing you're now going to do is you come to the shape tool, then you're now going to pick on rectangle shape. Then you now draw this rectangle shape on the screen. Now, once you draw it like this, you're now going to come to alignment and center it. So now, after you've centered it, the next thing now you're going to do is you come back to the shape tool, click on the drop down, then you're now going to pick ellipse. Now that you've picked ellipse, let me zoom in so that you'll see it clearly. Now that you've picked ellipse, you're now going to draw and drag this way. You're now going to draw something like this. Now, if you've drawn something like this with your ellipse shape, the next thing now you're going to do, you're now going to duplicate it by using the key, shortcut key, Control D. Or if you're using Apple, you use Command D to have to duplicate. If you see on my left hand side here, you'll see that I have two ellipses here. I have two ellipses here. So now the next thing you're now going to do is you're now going to click and highlight these two ellipses. You now bring it down with the down button, with the down key on your keyboard. Bring it down, bring it down, bring it down. Let it have this curve. So once you've done that, the next thing now you're now going to do is you're going to pick on this ellipse, then you pick on rectangle. You highlight three of them. Once you've highlighted three of them, you now come to the right hand side. You see this place here that it says union. If you come to this drop down, you see Boolean operation. You click on the drop down. You see this union, you now make it a union. Now that you've created and you've made it a union, the next thing you now do is to come here to the left hand side where you can see union here. There's a drop down button. You click on the drop down button. After you've clicked on the drop down button, you see this ellipse, the one at the center, right? You now bring it out. You click on it, then you bring it out from the union. Now that you've brought it out from the union, the next thing now you're now going to do is to collapse this drop down. Then while highlighting on this your ellipse, you're now going to hold on shift and highlight the union. Now that you've highlighted both of them, you will now come back here to the right hand side panel. You see where it says use as mask. You are now going to click on use as mask. Then you're now going to have something like this. You're now going to have something like this. So if I click out, you see what I have. Can you see what I have? So this is what you're going to have. So now, once you've done that, the next thing now we're now going to do is to bring in our logo. So I'm now going to drag my logo into the frame. I'm now going to align it to the center, and then I will now use my down key to bring it down. See what happens. Can you see? It's going inside. So I'm now going to take it down. So we'll make adjustments, right, where it's needed. But first of all, this is what you do. So after bringing it down, the next thing I'm now going to do, you see the size of this logo? I'm now going to reduce the size of this logo by scaling it down. I'll now press on the shortcut key K to have this double arrow, then I'll scale it down. Now I'm going to scale it down this way. Then after scaling it down, I'll center align it. Then I'll bring it up this way. So now, once I've done that, the next thing I have this. The next thing I'm going to do now is to come here, right? Click on this shape, right? Once I click on this ellipse, I will now hide it, meaning I'm going to change the color to white to blend it to the splash screen color, which is the frame color. I'll blend it with the frame color. So I'm now going to have something like this. It's blended. So the next thing I'm now going to do is I will duplicate this frame by holding on Alt key and left click and drag. So now I have duplicated this. So this screen that I have duplicated now, the next thing I'm now going to do is I'll come back to this rectangle. Now this rectangle, what I'll now do is I'm now going to scale it down, reduce the size. I'll now press on K and scale it down. I'll scale it. Just watch what I do. I'll scale it down this way. Then after scaling it down, the next thing I'll now do is I'll align it to the center, something like this. So now I'll now come back to this second screen. Now if I come back to this second screen, I'll click on it. Then these are the particles. If you see here, this is the screen here. So if I click on this drop down here, I see the collapsible. I can see the union. I can see the and the frame, which is my logo. So the next thing to do is I'm now going to bring out my logo. So I will now click on the logo itself. Then I'll now press on the up key to push it up. You see it's coming up right now. So once it's up, then I'll scale it up to make it big. I'll scale it to make it big like this. Then I'll come to alignment. I'll center it. Now push it up. Once I do this, I'll push it up this way. Then the next thing now I'm now going to do is to duplicate this, right? Is to duplicate this frame. Again, bring it here. Then now this other frame now, the next thing I'm now going to do is I'll click on it, come to the ellipse, make sure you're clicked on the ellipse. Then I'm now going to scale it down to the way I did to the first one. I'm going to scale it down, then align it to the center this way. Then now for the logo, I'm now going to increase the size of the logo to how I want it to stay on the screen, right? Something like this is okay, something like this. Then what I'll now do is I'll come to alignment here and align it to the center. Now at the end of the day, you're going to have something like this. So now let's prototype it. So now the next thing we're now going to do is to prototype these screens. So let's remember to change the names. Here is showing iPhone 14, 15, so we'll change it to splash, splash, and splash. So we'll now come to the right hand side. You see this prototype here. You now click on your prototype, then you click on the first screen, then drag and connect. Now once you've dragged and connect the first screen, what you're now going to do is you're going to click on this, then you come to after delay, Your trigger, you make it after delay, then the delay you're going to make it 500 millisecond. Then for the animation, you're now going to bring it to smart animate. Then for the curve, you're going to make it custom bezier. So for the custom bezier, for the duration, you're going to make it 1500. Then also the first one, you're going to make it 1. Then the second one, you're going to make it 0.01. Then this one, you're going to make it 0. Then the last one, you're going to leave it as 1. So you see, the bezier, you're going to make it 1, 0.1, 0.01, then 0, then 1. So that's it for the first one. Then for the second screen, you now connect the second screen to the third screen. Now after connecting the second screen to the third screen, the next thing now you're going to do is to also make the trigger. You change the trigger to after delay, make it 500 millisecond. Then for the curve, you're now going to click on the curve. You're now going to make it custom spring. Now for this custom spring, you make it 1417, 1415. Now you're now going to come here. You make it 100. That's the stiffness 100. Then you make it 7. So stiffness 100, damping 7, mass 1. So you have this. So now it's time for us to check our prototype. The next thing we're going to do is to check our prototype to see if it has worked well and to see if we need to adjust anything. So you click on your first screen, then you now shift and space bar. So you see, it is well done. Yay! So guys, that's it for the animated splash screen. And that's it for today's tutorial on creating an awesome animated splash screen for your mobile app. If you learned something new or got inspired, give this video a thumbs up and it really helps the channel grow. Got a question or want to share your version? Drop a comment below. I would love to see what you're working on. So if you haven't already, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on what's coming next. Thank you for watching and I'll catch you in the next one. Stay creative, stay focused. Peace.